guys, welcome back, and I'm happy that you're here to watch day 4, what happens in day 4 of the NCAT evaluation exams. And today I'm going to be telling you about the interview process, what they check for, what they ask, and I also try to sample out questions and I'm going to be giving them to you today. So if you're ready to see all this, stay tuned guys, I'll be right back. Channel, welcome. Where have you been, for goodness sake? This is PrincessAnuTv. We talk about aviation, motivation, adventure. So if you think you want to know more about all these things, then do well to subscribe and click on that bell so that whenever I post any video you'll be able to see it. And like you know, today we are going to be discussing about NCAT interview, what it comprises, what you should expect when you go. I'm just a student of NCAT, a flying student to be precise, and I'm sharing my experiences of what I've seen and I also try to gather other people's experiences on this interview. So I'm going to be sharing. I try to gather some questions also, not just mine. I didn't want to just give you my own story. I also wanted to gather from my classmates, my senior colleagues and my junior colleagues too, about what their interview questions were like. And so that was what I did. I tried to gather mine, my classmates, my senior colleagues, and so I'm going to be sharing them with you. Okay, the first thing I would like you to know today is what NCAT actually judges you in your interview. Number one, they say it's about 20 marks for the interview. So you're going to be having 10 marks for your appearance and 10 marks for your answering of your questions. So the appearance comprises of how you dress to the interview and your composure, your confidence and all those things. Very important, 10%. Then the interview question is about 10%. So they're going to be asking you a maximum of like 5 questions. And when they ask you these 5 questions, they may ask you less than 5 questions, but basically it's 5 questions, and that's what they're going to put 2 marks to make it 10. So the appearance, which is your dress sense, your confidence level, the way your composure generally is 10 marks. Then your answering of your questions is another 10 marks. So that's on one part. So I'm going to be sharing with you some interview question. So the first person's one I would like us to talk about is phase 2, which you can see there. They asked him, number 1, what is Pythagoras theorem, the square root of 144, cardinal points, what is a great circle. If you can look at these questions, you will discover that they asked him at least 1 maths question. In fact 2 maths questions, which is question 1 and question 2, which are the 2 maths questions they asked him. Then they asked him what is a great circle and cardinal points. And what's a great circle, they are going to be teaching you in your day 2, like I told you. Those courses, navigation, aerodynamics and meteorology, they're going to be teaching you these things, and that's why I told you in the day 2 of this video that you should make sure you pay attention when they are teaching you. Read those materials, but don't just cram and go and pause, so that whenever they ask you any of these questions in your interview, you will be able to answer. But today I'm not going to be giving the total answer to all those questions because I don't think you need them. It's something you can browse about and check. But if you want me to give you the answers to those questions, these interview questions I'm going to be sharing, you can comment in the comment section that you want the answers. Then I'll see if I can do a video on all the answers to those questions. So that's basically number 1, which is phase 2 questions. Thanks to phase 2's Odafe for sharing his questions with us. Then the next person I would like us to look at is my senior colleague Adebisoye, and they asked him, can you knot a tie? The second question, what are the different control surfaces and who pays your fees? Basically, they are going to be asking you who pays your fees. you know the answer to that, I don't know the answer to that, and can you note it? It's either a yes or a no. It's not bad if you say no. Then different control surfaces, they are also going to teach you in your day 2. So let's not dwell too much on that. They just asked him 3 questions, these 3 questions, and I told you the maximum of 5 questions. They can't ask you more than, or they are not meant to ask you more than 5 questions. So that's it for Adebisoye's questions. Thanks to Adebisoye. Then the next person's question we're going to be looking at is another of my classmates, Dangana's questions. So as you can see there in Dangana's questions, they asked him the law of motion, define rusting, and gas laws, and name one international airport in Nigeria. Okay, I would like us to talk a little about Dangana's question. He did not just leave secondary school to come to university. He didn't leave secondary school to come to flight school. So he had some documents that showed that he was not just leaving secondary school. He had his upper degree, like other degrees that he had. So they are going to be asking you based on your results. They can look at the credentials you have and say, okay, you've done mathematics before. They will dwell on asking you mathematics questions. Well, not totally sure, but they will ask you majority of mathematics questions. If they see that you went to a university and you did, let me say you did physics, they will ask you physics questions, specialty, like based on those things, the credentials you brought, that's what they're going to be asking you. In fact, in my own case, they first looked at my results, held it, and checked the courses that I got the best. Like in my maths, my O-level maths, I had an A, and my geography, I had a B or so. They checked it, and so they asked me questions based on geography and mathematics majorly. It's not like they didn't ask me. In fact, they asked me everywhere, but majorly geography and mathematics. They asked me questions very well on that. So if you have a higher degree apart from your O-level stuff, and you go maybe with your master's degree, or you go with your doctorate degree, or you go with your PhD if you have one, or you go with your OND or NC or whatever results you go with, just know that if you attach it to your credentials, they will definitely ask you questions based on those your credentials. So you should take note. If you want to avoid them asking you questions based on your credentials, just go with only your O-level. Submit the basics that they need, which is your O-level, so that whenever they're asking you any question, they are going to be asking you based on your O-level. So that's it for that. Let's move over to the next question. The next question is my roommate's question. Wahir, she's also a flight attendant, she's my coursemate. They asked her the second stanza of the national anthem and the square root of 144. You can see that this square root of 144, they've asked 2 consecutive people, which is to tell you that it's a recurring question. They can ask you the square root of 144, they can ask you the square root of 72, they can ask you the square root of any other thing. So it's just a quick maths you have to do in your head. The anthem, I don't think you should be stalling or so, like looking like a morons or something when they ask you the second anthem. So know your Nigerian anthem. Don't forget you're coming to Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, so just do yourself the favor, know your anthem, both the first stanza and the second stanza, to avoid embarrassment. Okay guys, let's move to the next question. Thanks to Wahir for sharing that with us. The next question is Anekan's question. Anekan also is my coursemate, and we all came for interview at different times anyway, so it's good that we are shuffling the questions so that you can know what they asked each and every one of us. So for Anekan's question, they asked him the math question of what's the squared of 2. So that one he answered, and they asked him who is paying his fees. They always ask that question, who is going to pay your fees, because they want to know, okay, even if this candidate is eligible, that you can need to know. They want to know, okay, this candidate is eligible academically, he's fit, medically he's fit, and the rest. But does he have the capability to pay his fees? Most of the time, sincerely, if you don't have the capability to pay your fees, like if you don't know or you're not certain about who's paying your fees, they will likely leave that slot to someone that understands who is paying his or her fees. So I need you to take note of that. Just be confident about it. Say it with all confidence and sincerity, guys. So then the last one that we're going to be dealing with is my own question. And the first question they asked me is, what is a confluence point? And they asked me, apart from what is a confluence, they asked me a state, a confluence state. Then they asked me a math question, x1, y1, x2, x2, y2. I should solve the equation. And it was quite funny because I was so confident, and even despite the fact that I didn't get the answer, I was still confident telling them this is it. You understand? Okay, then they also asked me which is more heavier, 50 kg bag of rice, 50 kg bag of cotton, 50 kg bag of cement, which is more heavier. They also asked me what is a verb, and they asked me one chemistry question, what is the IUPAC name for H2SO4. So basically you can see my own question comprises of both chemistry, English, general knowledge, mathematics, and geography. So mine was kind of rampant based on O-level stuff. They looked at my result and they were like, okay, we need to ask this girl this, that. So that's one thing I need you to know. Don't add problem to yourself. If you're taking a particular result or a document, be sure that you can stand that document. Imagine some people go, maybe they got an A1 in English and they ask them what is an adjective or what is a pronoun or what is a verb, and they cannot answer. You know what that means? It's like, where did this guy even get this result from? You get what I mean? So my conclusion on this exam questions basically is that your appearance is very key. Like me, basically, I didn't even answer out to 2 of my questions because I was just mixing everything up. But my appearance that day, I made sure I dressed a little bit corporate, and I was very confident. Even when I was not answering the right things, I was confident about it. That's one thing you should know. Your confidence level is very key, and your appearance is very okay. Even if you can get 10 marks out of the 20, is something. I'm not saying you should go and get 10 marks anyways, but even if it's your appearance and your confidence that will give you your 10 marks, they're answering one, at least you can answer 1 or 2 questions they will ask you. It will also add to your mark. Also, make sure you go to your interview venue on time. Don't get there late. That's not part of good ethics, especially when starting a job or starting that's not how you want to start. That's basically what I'm trying to say. That's not how you want to start. So make sure you go there early, make sure your appearance is okay, and just try as much as possible to answer your questions. It's not bad if you can answer all the questions. Tell them you don't know. Anyone you can answer, and this. I'm not saying this is a complete template. I just gave you an example of 5 or 6 examples of interview questions that they're likely to ask you. So you can build on it. You can also ask questions. You can ask other people. And if I get to know any other extra thing apart from this I've just told you, I will be sure to share it with you. And like I said, if you need the answers to all those questions, you can leave a comment in the comment section and say, please, we need the answer, and I'll be sure to make another video telling you the answers to all these questions. Also guys, you can check in the description box for day 1, day 2, and day 3 videos.